I love this headline and story in the Oregonian from Saturday. Some of the most dishonest, supposedly objective reporting in recent memory. Antifa response to a rumored KKK rally turns into a dance party. Oh, and also the police did arrest 3 people, and they're looking for a vandalism suspect, but that's not why the bulk of the demonstrators were there. Sure, there was rampant criminality. Sure, Antifa thugs were harassing the cops, but those people are just a small part of the day's events. Besides, things can happen when a dance floor heats up. Even more exciting when there's pizza in play. Okay, so let me get this straight. The KKK was planning to march through Portland, but the robes were thwarted by an impromptu pizza-fueled dance party. That's what happened downtown on Saturday? Well, no, not exactly. I mean, there wasn't actually any KKK presence, like any guys actually there. In fact, there may not have been any KKK event organized at all. It's not really clear. And the dance party thing was more of just a lame joke someone yelled to break up the monotony of calling the police fascists and throwing rocks and concrete at them. There wasn't really a dance party, sure. But the pizza was real. Okay, so why isn't pizza in the headline then? Why is the pizza mid-story, but I have to scroll all the way down to the final 3 paragraphs to see what is much more important information? Oh, right. Yeah, I almost forgot. Police did report that Antifa used pepper spray on people in the park. And yeah, they did attack some cops, and there were weapons involved also. And they also vandalized a monument in a downtown park. And all of this violence started before there was any of the pizza and dance partying, actually. So this is not a story of a party with a little bit of rioting then. This is a story of a riot with a little bit of partying. This is not a dance party gone awry. This is yet another mob of masked thugs assaulting the city of Portland's citizens and police officers and property. The Oregonian is supposed to be the state's premier paper of record. Instead, they're doing everything they can to obscure the truth. There is no chance that all of these pieces of indefensible reporting are pure accident. It's no accident this author includes none of the available footage and photos of Saturday's criminality. We'll see those in a moment. It's no accident the headline and the story structure buries crucial details under irrelevant ones, funny to the benefit of a particular political worldview at the expense of the reality of this city's continued decay into lawlessness. And if you ask me, it's also no accident that this supposed claim of KKK provocation to justify all this nonsense has no basis in observable evidence. What do you think is more likely? That a bunch of actual KKK guys in robes and hoods were going to march the streets of Portland, something they haven't done since 1900 never? Or a bunch of leftist ideologues in a leftist monoculture needed to give themselves some purpose for the day, and a fairy tale will do just the trick. But hey, let's say the narrative is true. Let's say Antifa did scare away the KKK guys on Saturday. Fair enough. That'd be a great success. That'd be mission accomplished, right? If this was a great success and the crisis was thwarted, why did you stick around to vandalize city property? If the KKK is today's enemy, why are you spray painting fuck cops and punch cops and kill cops and all cops are bastards on a war memorial in the park? Why are you throwing objects at cops, despite their very polite requests otherwise?
Stay on the sidewalk. Stop assaulting officers.
All cops are bastards. All cops are letting you run the city. What more could these neutered cops do to earn your favor? You'll notice a pattern here. It doesn't matter if the cops lay down or not. It doesn't matter if the KKK boogeyman they're supposedly protesting actually shows up or not. These people will be violent no matter what. Criminality is the plan all along. The rest is just backfilled justification later. And that's just the criminality that was caught on camera. There's likely plenty more, but the Antifa dance party tradition of intimidating and assaulting citizen journalists who might otherwise observe such things was also in practice on Saturday in several instances.
Why are you hitting me, buds? You guys are on drugs. What are you throwing, rocks? They're throwing rocks, dude.
Run faster, Andy! Run faster! Get the fuck out of here! Never come back!
Hey, help! Help! These people are throwing rocks at me.
Well, that was actually decent and surprising athleticism from Antifa guy there. Still, I doubt he's that dangerous all on his own. I wish the guy getting chased had just stopped cold in his tracks just to see what this tiny man could do. I bet it would have looked something like this. It's easy for me to say from afar, though, especially considering the weapons that were present. This umbrella squad may not seem out of place for a rainy Pacific Northwest winter, but these were no ordinary umbrellas. One of the buried, apparently less relevant details in the Oregonian story is that these umbrellas were actually metal-tipped and designed to jab people and chase them down the street in exactly this way. I'm surprised this Oregonian reporter had the honesty to admit that. I figured he'd say they were for carrying the pizza, Little Caesars style. At least that guy escaped attack, but for other journalists, not so. Brandon Brown is a citizen journalist who was on scene interviewing event participants, and he did face the full umbrella.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Sorry about that. I'm right here. How about you just get fucking walking, buddy? You want to shoot me? Hey, get the fuck out. We don't want you here. Please leave. Get the fuck out.
And the full pepper spray. And the full rock toss. In Brown's first-person GoPro footage of the incident, you can see this unprovoked horde attack from his perspective, and you can also see the Portland police at the end of the block just watching it all play out. They don't even come to his aid after he was sprayed and saying out loud that he's blinded.
I'm blinded over here. Does anybody have anything? I can't see.
And of course, we've watched the Portland police stand down many times before. They're less the Portland Police Bureau and more the Portland Blood Sports Fan Club. They just sit in the stands and spectate. Yet another journalist learned this lesson the hard way, chased away by the Soy Spartans and their umbrella spears.
Hey, stay the fuck back, fuckers. Fuck off.
He did find some momentary safety at the Justice Center, but ironically, they're fresh out of justice. A cop called him over to let him know.
Yes, sir.
You run it over there, and we're not going to come out and save you, so you got to come up with a...
I see it on that side of the street. I didn't even cross.
You got to come up with a different plan, like maybe go somewhere else, dude.
All right.
We're not going to run out here and save you.
I just stood there. They come out with pepper spray.
I'm just telling you that ain't going to happen again, so you got to go probably find something else, okay?
Okay.
We're not going to be homies for you.
I'm gonna leave.
Good idea. All right. Thanks, man.
It's amazing how in progressive utopia, government has every purpose imaginable except its only legitimate one, to secure and defend the rights of the people. Not only the speech rights to document public ongoings, but just the basic right to walk or drive down the street unattacked. A lady was pushed toward oncoming traffic on Saturday. Incendiary devices were thrown at civilian cars just driving around. Everything is a human right, except traveling the streets in peace, apparently. If Portland police are blood sports spectators, then Mayor Ted Wheeler leads the cheer squad. And just as he's thanked Antifa for their damage to the city in the past,
I want to thank you for bringing national attention to this important issue.
he had a similarly gutless response last weekend. He tweeted, quote, "We are proud of our long history of protecting and celebrating the right to assembly and free speech. Every year, Portland sees hundreds of peaceful demonstrations, but yesterday there was a gathering to protest against hate and racism, and a few individuals decided to use the opportunity to act out in violence and vandalize property." Just like the Oregonian coverage, just like the hammer and sickle vandalism that's somehow part of this supposed protest against injustice, the mayor's statement is totally backwards. First off, it's not just a few unsavory individuals. It is mobs of thugs engaged in violent group behavior on a recurring, routine, predictable basis. But beyond that, the violence is not a consequence of your commitment to protecting and securing citizen rights, Mr. Mayor. The violence is a consequence of your refusal to do that. He's saying, oh, the people's rights are secure in this city, and unfortunately, that's why there are a few bad actors. No, there are bad actors because the people's rights are not secure. By pretending there's a speech right to vandalize and to attack and to assault, we allow these thugs to quash the actual speech rights, to attend a public event, to document that public event, to discuss that public event. with other attendees. You're not free to do these things in downtown Portland, but you are free to take a punch for trying, and hopefully just one punch if you're lucky, because nobody's coming to help you if you do. But hey, maybe there's a silver lining. By advertising Portland as the country's premier playground for violent communists, maybe they'll all naturally concentrate there. And then we can just quarantine it off. The city can become a comrade battle royale, and there you go, problem solved. These people refuse to resolve differences with words, so I don't really see a better option. They don't accept debate, and we don't accept umbrella fights. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate that thoughtful discussion down below, and especially over on Twitter. That is at ML Christiansen. You're always welcome to coming out and chat in my live streams. Those are linked down in the description. Looking forward to it. Goodbye.